All right, g'day everybody. Hope you're well, having a fantastic day. So, today we're going to talk about what's going on the last couple of days in news, and we'll also have a look at how it is affecting our market. So, welcome. G'day Addison, Will, Kimmy, Jeff. Okay, and that'll do. Hey, if you like it, please subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications. Give it a thumbs up and a like. All right, so this midweek news item, well, I suppose it's not really midweek, is it? Midweek if you're in the US or the UK, but it's a bit of a mashup of a few things that are going on right now. G'day, Winston. And to give you a bit of insight into the sort of information I'm absorbing at the minute, and seeing how Bitcoin is, I guess, how it can tie into the Bitcoin narrative, I suppose. G'day Lee, Trish, JT. Righto. So here's one that I really like. This is one thing that for me, being an Australian, with Australia having, basically being so deeply entrenched in fossil fuels, like we're looking at coal is a big part of our exports. Not so much fossil fuels, but also a lot of the mining stuff that we do, which is essentially, I mean, imagine, something just slowly digging away at your arm over a long period of time. There's a whole body here, but a little part gets cut. The more parts that get cut, the more it's going to show up. I think that's the way mining affects the earth. I've got no problem with mining, but I would like to see Australia as a nation take on a little bit more risk in one way for the short term, but long-term reward. I'm talking about technology. So what I mean by this, and why this particular article did capture my attention, is that there's a Human Rights Foundation here that have announced some grants for a Bitcoin development fund, and I like that. Now it's only small. All right, it's only small. But this non-profit focus on preserving human rights around the world will be donating $25,000 in Bitcoin. Okay, now what I like about this is it's helping people to have an interest. There is a real reason for those people to get involved with our space. Now, this wave of donations will support Bitcoin development, which is obviously big on all of us, right? We want to see Bitcoin continue to develop, to continue to strengthen, to continue to grow and adapt to an ever-changing space, an ever-changing world. The fact that the grants are only small now, but this is the beginning of something I believe will be much, much bigger. And if you look at what Khurram Shroff has been doing, who's IBC Partners, IBC Group, I interviewed him in Dubai. He manages a huge amount of wealth. He's put 100,000 Bitcoin into the Miami. Miami wants to sort of use Bitcoin and blockchain as part of their infrastructure in their actual city. So the reason I'm telling you the Khurram Shroff story and the Miami link is also linked back to this. So that's on a very, very big scale with, I think he's called Arab Whale or something like that. Top bloke, amazing art gallery. He showed me around it, lovely human being, and it was a great interview to have with him. That was back in the Dubai series, which is in the YouTube channel, if you want to go back and have a look at that. But he's put 100,000 Bitcoin, which is basically $5 billion, into Miami to help them to develop and grow that. That's on a huge high whale level. On the grassroots level, let's be honest, when it comes to a sport, like I'm a rugby union fan, and Australia, it really frustrated me when Glennis, what are they called? She runs New South Wales. I forget what the actual wording is. Put the money into building and replacing stadiums. You need to invest in the future, and the way you invest in the future is by going to the grassroots. If it's sport, it's investing in the youngsters, and if it's business, it's in investing into the next generation of minds that are interested in that same field that you're going into. So little grants like this, coupled with big grants like what Khurram Shroff's doing with IBC Group, it sort of fills at the higher echelon all the way down to the lower levels, and I think that's a really, really, really great, I guess, show of where Bitcoin has come and where blockchain has come. So one of the other things down here, where is it? There was a particular, here we go. They will allow, for example, journalists and dissidents under authoritarian regimes to have personalized assistance on how to, for example, set up a Bitcoin payment processor on their website to allow them to receive donations from anywhere in the world. Configure a wallet that they securely control and sell Bitcoin into fiat safety when necessary to pay for program expenses. Now, again, that for me touches on a big thing, which is there's a whole bunch going around the world at the moment around censorship. What news is real, what news is fake, we're not smart enough to make our own decisions, blah, blah, blah. And I can see both sides of it because I see, there's all sorts of people that are out there coming up with all these wild ideas. Some ideas are fantastic and they're thought-provoking and there's fact-based in it. But it's almost like when certain people start there and then end up going off on some wild tangent. So I understand the need for allowing, not censorship, but the need for allowing people to be able to get information that's not just so wacky out of... But in the same respect, I guess I've got to say this, as I think it through and speak it through, in the same respect, only a small number of the populace is going to believe some of these wild, far-flung things. So why can't we just have the information, and it's up to us and our governments, and I say our governments, which I'm not entirely agreeing with, to create an education system where people learn. They don't just follow. And I feel that that's where we are right now. We're following, and it comes up, sort of the buck stops at the parents in a certain amount of, a certain respect. But I think this collective, from the high level of that 5 billion down to the low level, it's doing the right things and it's encouraging people to become more aware of our space and to get involved. So although it's only small, I think it's you plant a seed and the tree grows. That's the analogy I was after. Top analyst predicts Bitcoin will hit $100,000 sooner than most traders will think. Okay, now this is a headline. There's no need to go into the story because it's one person's opinion, and I don't know who this person is, but my point is the headline itself. There's the laser eyes thing going on right now. Laser eyes to 100,000, right? We've all heard it. We've all seen it. We've been a part of it. We get that. Now, this market moves at incredible rates of knots. Typically what we've seen, well, when I say typically, in the last time, 2017, we had that really strong bull market. We had a run up, a pullback one, a run up, a pullback two, which is where we are right now. I'll show you. Look at this. Where we are right now on Bitcoin is this, and I'll show it on the 2 day because it's clearer. Run up, pullback one, run up, pullback two. Well, what does the third pullback give? Well, what did it do in 2017? And what does the news and the cycle and the companies getting involved in our space at the moment suggest to? That there is much more coming in, is what I read into it. Pullback one, pullback two, and then we saw our massive move. So I'm certainly not predicting that to be true and to happen again. However, again, my job is to disseminate the news and to read the charts to make my money. The market is looking at 100,000. The more people that look at that, the more people that take that on board, the more probability that we have of actually getting there. Now, if we can break to new all-time highs, I think 100,000 and beyond is on the cards for this year. Don't forget to take profits on the way, but this headline is getting a lot of traction at the moment. Now, this one I find quite interesting. We know that gaming is one of the biggest industries in the world right now. Gaming is blowing up all over the world. It is huge. It's growing faster than sports. Esports, as a matter of fact, is one of the fastest growing industries on the planet right now. So combine that, or combine sport, i.e. the largest sport in the world aside from fishing, and you got football. Combine crypto and football and NFTs, you've got huge support base. You've got massive reach and marketing ability from these football sides, which is, they're very wealthy businesses in their own right for the most part. And throw an NFT on top, which is also hot as hell right now, and you get this. So Ubisoft gets behind a new free-to-play crypto game. They recently raised $50 million. Now, essentially what they're saying here is this. It's a free game, one-shot league, free-to-play spin-off created in collaboration with gaming giant Ubisoft. Now, what they're looking at here is this. They've got more than 100 officially licensed teams and leagues from around the world taking part in this. Now, that alone, don't need to read anything else. That alone allows for so many hundreds of millions of people. Now, whether they take up the opportunity to use this game or get involved or not is another story. But that just gives so much power for people to learn about our space. They can also bring in some of their premium digital soiree cards, which are non-fungible tokens. Think about your baseball cards, your basketball cards, and they've gone through the roof of late. There's been a big uptick in the cards market, and the whole Pokemon thing. God, I have not been keeping up with that, but seems that that's a big go-to as well. Non-fungible tokens, it falls into the same bracket as that. So you've got the physical, which are going off right now, and you've got the NFTs, which are going off right now. It makes sense. Now, do I think NFTs will continue to rise at the rate they are now? Probably not. But again, it's not my world of knowledge. It's not my thing. At the moment, people are making money. Things are going well, and it's bringing people into our space and seeing collectibles in a different light, and I think that's good. The main thing of this story, however, is a completely new market. A bunch of football fans that are now given access to this game, which is linked back into our market. Can only be a good thing. Ethereum now available on Amazon managed blockchain. Now this one for me, gotta say, it's probably the biggest piece of news out of what I've got today, in that Amazon is involved in blockchain. Now what they're doing here is the infrastructure and yada 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 and upgrades and blah blah blah. What they're doing is not the thing that I wanted to bring this to you for, as in what they are actually doing there, because it sounds complicated. It's not that massive, blah, blah, blah. The reason I wanted to bring this Amazon article in is because it's Amazon and it's crypto or blockchain, crypto and blockchain. They're talking about Ethereum and how they're using it in DeFi applications and whatnot. Now, the CEO was Jeff Bezos. He has now stepped down, which means that it's not a one-man vision. It's a collective vision. And sometimes when somebody who's been working within a business for a long period of time, and look, obviously Bezos has done very well and he's done a very good job, he might have a vision that he's created, but he might have hit a wall and he might not be able to see further. And that might be the reason he's brought himself out of it. When you get a new team coming on board, you get a fresh set of eyes, and especially if that leadership is not the same set of eyes, it becomes much more of an open environment at times to accept change and to pivot and maneuver into that change. Now, I can see a day where Amazon accepts Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bunch of others. Now, when that happens, and my dad keeps saying to me, yeah, but if I do this, can I turn it into cash? Yes, you can. But when you can turn it not just into cash, but into products. So if you buy 0.1 of a Bitcoin, and now that 0.1 of the Bitcoin is worth 3 times as much, and you can use it to buy things, fantastic. So what I'm getting at here is that, what's the best thing? What's a good analogy? When you when you stack things on, when you're stacking what am I trying to say here? There's always a straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, for some reason in my head, I've got stacking marbles within a frame, right? You put the first level down, then in the gaps of them, you can then build a pyramid of marbles. Now, at some point, if you try and go too far, those marbles are going to roll off and fall. But it's one marble that starts it. And for me, this could be that one marble, because Amazon has now got an open mind towards blockchain and cryptocurrency. If they can then move from there slowly but surely into accepting crypto as payment form, then we are in a very, very good place. The other thing, I was concerned that Amazon may come out with their own cryptocurrency or digital asset of their own. Being that it's centralized, I think they watched the Facebook fiasco and realized that it might be too much to deal with from a compliance and power point of view, because they'll know who's got what, where, why, and when. Now, for me, them not creating their own digital asset is a really big step, because it tells me that they perhaps won't for the foreseeable future, for the short term anyway. If they start to accept cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency becomes more widely accepted across their platform and the world, then they may bring in their own currency and give rewards and whatnot, much the same as what the rewards programs like Flybuys and all that sort of stuff does. So for me, this is a big piece of news. Although just a little winkle into the space, it's still one of the largest companies in the world, or if not the largest company in the world, dabbling in our market. So that's the news. It's positive. The charts are positive. 2-day looks fantastic. On the 4-hour, what I'd really like to see right now is this. I'd like to see this become a higher high. So the potential for this little bullish candle, relatively bullish in that cradle zone on the 4 hour. Moving averages are correct on the 8 hour. That could in fact actually turn out to be an opportunity for me to get long. It's below 50. Ultimately, I want to see this push to a new high above here. Mid-term time frames kicking on, higher time frames kicking on, and then off we go as far as we possibly can. Guys, if you haven't already, get across to tradercobb.com. Free course there for you to access. 4 hours of content. Get your accounts, get yourself sorted out. Get your information in the description below. Have a fantastic day, and thank you very much for your time.